Welcome back. We are watching how we can deploy a machine learning model into GitHub, and then how we can build an app on Streamlit, which will connect with the model and provide an interface to the user so that the user can interact with the app, and the inputs of the user will pick up, will be fed into the model, and the model will give the prediction, and the output will be shown to the user on this user-friendly app. Okay. So we saw in the last session that we need to create these three files. README is, of course, a file for documentation. You may have it or you may not have it. It's recommended to have it so that you have the documentation in one place. But these three files are mandatory. The .sab file, which is basically the packaged or the pickled uh, model entity, which has been deployed to GitHub, which is ported and uploaded into GitHub. Then diabetic or a .py file, which has the configuration of how the app is going to look like and what will be inputs to the app on Streamlit, and the requirements.txt file, which has all the environment variables, versions of all these products like Python or Streamlit, on which the model was built, because unless we specify the environment where the model was built, when the model, the deployed model is being used, the single environment should be set up so that there is no mismatch in the environment. So these are the three mandatory files that has to be uploaded on your repository in GitHub. This is what we have seen in the last session. Now in this session, we are going to go to Streamlit and create the app. Now note that you must log on to Streamlit with the same ID as you have used for GitHub. This will ensure that your Streamlit account is connected with your GitHub account, and the Streamlit is able to see all the repositories in your GitHub account. When you first set up a Streamlit account, it will ask you for this connection, and you have to provide that connection. Once that is done, you have to create an app. Now, there are various app templates which you can use. Otherwise, you can create an app from without any template. In this case, we are going to create an app without any template, but you can use this template. When you say create an app, it is saying that whether you want to use a template or you take from public, okay, or can be in Snowflake privately deployed also. But right now, we are going to deploy the app on GitHub without using a template directly, okay? Because my code is already in the GitHub repository. So if your code is not in the GitHub repository, you cannot do that. Now, we have got the GitHub repository code over here. So if you are not sure about the GitHub repository code, you can also paste the GitHub URL, okay, here. Okay. Or it is better to switch on to this interactive form where you can just pick up the GitHub. If, for example, our GitHub repository is the diabetes prediction, just pick this up, okay? And it gives you the main file path, etc., and it builds an URL. Now, so this is our file. The file name was different. We saw this diabetes.py is our file name, py, and it builds a URL. This is the URL, which means that, so you can see that it is created a subdomain under Streamlit. In a paid version, you can create your own or host it in your own domain, because in a real enterprise scenario, you don't want to give an app to a user where which is hosted on, let's say, Streamlit domain. You want it to be hosted on your company's domain. So in a paid version, you can have this app hosted in your own company's domain. Okay, but here in the free version, you have to use the Streamlit domain, and this is a subdomain. But this is a publicly available subdomain. So anybody having this URL will be able to access this. And there are a few advanced settings. We don't need to right now do any advanced settings. We'll just say deploy. When I say deploy, what is going to happen? It is going to create this interface of the app and is going to deploy this module on Streamlit with the different uh, different requirements of the environments which I've already specified. And now, after the deployment is complete, it will create this URL which any user can access. Okay, even you can access. But of course, this is a free version, so it will be active. This URL will be active only for 72 hours. After that, it will not be available. But in a paid version, this will be available forever. And of course, you have to, and that's the reason why Streamlit is asking for the payment, because it has to host that application. So right now we are going to deploy this. It takes some time to deploy. Finally says that your app is in the oven. Get prepared. Doesn't take a lot of time. It does take sometimes a little bit time. Since that it didn't take a lot of time, it's done. So now you see you have this URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just go to an incognito mode and paste this URL there so that you understand that I'm not accessing it through a logged in Streamlit account. Okay. Even if it's an incognito mode, I have not signed up, I'll still be able to access this URL. That means it's publicly available. Only thing is that because it's free account, it will be available only for 72 hours. After that, this URL will not be there. In a paid account, this URL will be there forever. And the other important thing that this URL can be a nicely built URL on your own domain. It will not be this kind of encrypted URL or other, difficult to read URL on Streamlit domain. Okay, it will be a separate URL, whichever name you want to give, you can give that URL. And now what is going to happen? You can give this URL is as good as a website. It is available for public for free, for use, or whoever is your user. If you want to put some access control to it, you can also do that. So I'll just pause this video for a moment. I'll go to incognito mode and just copy paste this URL over there and see how it works. So here you can see I'm in the incognito mode and I have uh, cut and pasted this URL over here. So I'm not logged on to Streamlit. So I am independent user over here. And this URL is publicly available for anybody to input the data. So let's assume this is a pathologist who has this URL. And a patient's record has come in and she's inputting all the data. Check some of the relevant values. So that I do not fill up any random value or absurd value. Skin thickness I can put as 35. Insulin level I can as ready. BMI, let's put it as 50. Diabetes prediction. Prediction function, let's put it as predictive function. Yep. So assume there is a pathologist who has given this input value and wants to know what is the outcome. Is the person diabetic or not? Now, once I click on this diabetic test result, the data is going to go into the model that has been deployed in Streamlit, taking from GitHub. It is going to run these values through the model. These are the features. It is going to give you the output, and the output will be shown in this green box over here. Okay. So this is how now the user is able to interact with the model. So I just said diabetes test results. And you see that this result has come. The person is diabetic. Just on and check with the model and fetch the value. So this is how you build an app, front-end app that can interact with the model. Sometimes this last mile is a problem. In many cases, what we see is the students, they will complete all the model development and will create models, but they do not complete this last mile connectivity in terms of building an app and deploying a model to a production environment and building an app for the end user which will interact with the model. So this last mile part is left out so that when they demonstrate this model to an end user or to a business user, the business user is not able to relate how exactly this machine learning model can be used by an end user. So it's very important to complete this last mile part if you want to do an end-to-end project on machine learning and data engineering.